Hello everyone, welcome to another Average Angler video. We are on the 5th round of 6 rounds at Acorn Winter League. I was going to say Spring League then, but it's not, it's the Winter League. I have drawn peg 1, which is not a good peg in my section at all. It did alright in the last match, but usually it's at the bottom of the section this time of year. It's more of a summer peg. In the summer it can be really, really good, but in the winter it tends to be outperformed. It tends to be outperformed by the pegs to my left, so which is pretty much every peg in the section to my left. So it's not a good draw, but fish got fins. We're just going to fish it how we would normally fish it and see what happens. There's the guys having a way. There's Rob Wiltshire. He likes to point out to me that somebody came second off this peg last week just to put the pressure on me. he's trying to run away. Don't want his boss to know he's here. See how we get on. So the all-in is just sounding as per the normal. I'm not quite ready. I've got 4 slices of bread in there and it's very windy today, so my bread's going to dry out really quick and it's raining on and off, so I'm just taking half a slice out at a time so that I can make it last. Punching out a nice 8mm piece of bread. And I'm going to go out and dob some bread, but not super tight. I'm trying to start off with a single piece, lightly squeezed. Not sure. Lightly squeezed and make sure it puffs up quick. So that's what we want. And then we are fishing. Got 2 spots that I've plumbed. Just in deeper water at the bottom of the slope, where my rig will be sort of lying up a slope. There's not much on this peg, there's not much of a steep slope over. The steepest slopes I can find to my right on the point, there's a little, to my right the margin goes round the corner. And on there's quite a steep slope, so I've also got this rig set to fish there. And what I like to do with what I've been doing with the bread, and what I did in the last match, I'm going to do it this match and see how we get on, is let the bread sit on a slope so that the fish can swim up to it and easily take it without having to sort of tip themselves up. If you know what I mean, like if it's on the bottom, a carp has to tip its head down and its tail up to get the bait, which I'm told by people that know more things about carp than I do, it takes a lot of effort for the fish in the winter. Whereas if it's dangling in front of its face, then it's more likely to take it. And the beauty is that because you're up against a slope, in my mind, you're less likely to get foul hookers because the fish can't come from, they can only sort of come from the one direction, so they've got to kind of bump into, I think it's tucked that up in the water there, a little roach or something, or I laid it across the back or something there. So that's a good start. I don't know if that was a roach or a carp up in the water. So I'm starting at that depth and then I'll work out based on indications what's going on. I've had a couple of indications already. The float went under as soon as I put it in, but I assumed it was the weight of the bread. It took a while and it settled. It could have been a liner. Didn't. I just lifted the float out, but it didn't didn't hook anything. It's just trying to work out where these fish are, that they're not necessarily on the bottom or near the bottom, in the deeper water. I think it got damaged by whatever fish I just sort of hooked there. So I've got my shot I've got quite a heavy float on today because it's windy, but I've got the shot less than halfway down the rig, so the shot's really just acting as an anchor to try and keep the rig still, and then the bait can still flutter nice and naturally. I'm not happy with this hook at all. That's better. I tried that one very well. The line was coming out the back of the shank instead of the front of the shank. I'm surprised by that. I always check that when I'm doing my own hook lengths. That's a surprise. Might have to put a back shot on this because the wind is blowing the rig away from me, and more onto the slope than perhaps I would like it to, but it's not the end of the world. If I have a back shot, will enable me to use my long lash to good effect. Try and keep the pole away from the fish. I'd like to have the pole on the other side of the float so that there's no shadow cast over the water, but the wind's not going to let me do that. Trying to hold a rig still is going to be fun. So, didn't have a chance to tell you when I was doing my opening ramblings because I was running out of time. But I've got this rig here which I'm on now, which is set. It's a dobbing rig, currently set to fish in the deeper water. Then I've got another rig, a maggot rig, set to fish tight up underneath the undergrowth on the far bank. And I've also got a rig for down the middle. Those rigs that I'm fishing over with also will fish. I can fish short with the same rigs I found spot short. Round on this corner, this point down to my right where fish can sometimes be. I mean, it's probably not going to happen today because it's normally a summer thing, but we can but try. While I was talking to you there, I just saw a fish right on the surface to my left, halfway between me and the next peg. Another one there, I've seen it again. Right guys, you don't know much from me because not much has happened. We've got an hour and a half left. I've got 4 skimmers, something like that. I think I might have 3 skimmers and 3 roach and a tiny little perch. That's it. I'm not even foul hooked a carp or had a line off a carp or anything really. I've caught my skimmers over multiple different lines. I've caught one off the line I'm fishing now straight in front of me. I've caught one to the right. I've actually hooked 2 to this swim to my right, but I lost one. And I've hooked one fishing over to the far bank also. So I'm not really catching fish from anywhere. We're putting a run of fish together from anywhere. I'm just nicking fish off lines. So I've put a few more lines in and I'm just rotating around a few of them now, just trying to get a bite. I just sit on a line. If I don't get a bite off it, tap a little bit of bait in, move to the next line. I feel like I haven't got enough weight to beat anybody who's got a carp. I'm sure plenty of people in this section have got at least one carp, so if I'm not last in this section it'll be a miracle. So I could really do with a better finish than I've had so far, but I just don't know where the carp are going to come from. It's going to be very, very low weights today. It's probably going to be the lowest weights I can remember up Acorn for a long, long time. Which is odd when you consider that it's not, we're just coming off the back of a mild spell. It's not, we broke the ice a fortnight ago and the weights were much better. So, yeah, that's it. Nothing more to say really. Just rotating around the lines, trying to pick off odd fish, but just doesn't seem to want to happen. Absolutely no indications at all on this line. I've had one bite on it, one fish all day. And it's very difficult to know what these fish want, because you're trying to work out what caused that bite, and it's probably just pure fluke that there was a fish there and you put the rig in. There's just no pattern to anything, so you just cycling round blindly hoping that something's going to happen. So there we are, that's an update. Right guys, we've got less than 45 minutes to go. Caught some skimmers down, got the skimmer down the right hand margin, bits and bobs, and I've just gone over there with a maggot rig and it's put it straight into the first hole I've put it into, and the carp's had it. I'm just hoping above all hope that it's hooked properly, because I've got a very light rig on this. Little tiny size 18 hook. No 11 Power, which is quite light. This could be massive, this fish now. I've really got to take my time with it. It's flying about. I wouldn't say it was a massive fish. Taking my time with it. So I went out over the far line, and for about 4 or 5 puts in a row I just put some ground bait through the cup and just put some odd maggots and ground bait and odd maggots, and nothing happened. I just couldn't. I caught a perch, a very small one, and thought I'd just go and have another look over that line while I can't think of anything else better to do. And the fluke settled and the shot straight off. So I'll lay it on its back, if I looked at it, it's had it just dropped in, hooked itself and bolted off. I'm not sure which. I'm hoping the latter. If it's hooked in the mouth, I stand a chance of landing it. If it's hooked in the flank or the tail, probably not. This setup. This could be massive today, because this could go on my silvers and it will definitely get me a couple of section positions. Whether it gets me any good position in the section, I don't know, but it will get me. It might get me a position, 2 positions up the league, up the section, if I can get him out. It's very light elastic, it's only like a number 7 hybrid. So it looks like it's taking loads of elastic out, but it's not. It feels like a fish of about £3 to me. It's around that size. You just can't tell this time of year. With these light elastics, sometimes they don't pull back so hard. Any sort of pulling, just letting him go. I seem to be turning him. He goes on a run, which is a good sign, I suppose. Keep this low and just wait. So I've been fishing all day and I've not even seen a carp, so this is great. He's on the platform now, so he's done me. Huh? Yeah, he was up properly, mate, he was. Done me on the platform. So that sums my match up, that does. Huh? Yep. And the swearing. Very frustrated. I'm hoping there's another one out there waiting for me, but I'm suspecting not. Where the day's gone. Well and truly be my only fish, decent fish of the day, that. Finally